About to cook. I'm actually about to cook. I have a lot of fat friends. Frank? I don't even have a friend called Frank. Dude, I wish I had a fat friend. I'm so isolated over here. We're gonna be talking about energy metabolism and how to lose weight 101. We're gonna go through this picture right here. I've done 2 degrees and it still don't make sense. So by the end of this video, we're both gonna look at this picture and we're gonna say, this is bore knowledge. I can't believe you don't know this. I knew this when I was 5. Mic drop, and then we're gonna walk away and hope that no one asks us anything about the details of this picture. First of all, we know that we need ATP because that is our currency of energy. So the first system that we use is actually called the phosphogenic system. That's basically where creatine comes in. So phosphogenic system is freely stored ATP that is ready to be used in like a 1 rep max or in a sprint. It lasts for 30 seconds and it takes 3 to 5 minutes for the creatine kinase to recycle that ADP that's used back into ATP so you can go for your next rep. And that is why if you're doing sprinting, if you're doing powerlifting, you need 3 to 5 minutes of rest between your sets so that you can recover that system fast and then lift your heart out. Now we get to the anaerobic pathway, and this is where you're gonna be standing up tall on the bar and all the shorties around you are gonna be like, wow, tell me more. Not really. This is when you have glucose, goes to pyruvate, goes to lactate. And basically we're cycling through our free glucose in our bloodstream and we're also going through muscle glycogen. All right, listen up, shorty, you're about to learn this picture. So aerobic pathway is the metabolism of carbohydrates, protein, and fats to create ATP. The bean thing in the middle is the mitochondria that's creating all the ATP, the powerhouse of the... So on the right hand side, you have glucose. That's free carbohydrates still going down to make pyruvate into lactate. Lactate goes back to pyruvate. Pyruvate gets sent back up to the Krebs cycle to make ATP. And then up the top right there, you also have our favorite friend, AMPK, who's letting in all that glucose. And that's why you see all these marathon runners slamming honey packs so that they can get free monosaccharides. That's like a simple glucose chain going straight down to create energy. Look around in the bottom left, it also says that AMPK suppresses mTOR, and that's the video that we talked about last time. So you're still gonna get muscle protein synthesis inhibition because there's high AMPK level. Aerobic pathway, lots of carbohydrate metabolism, carbohydrate to glucose is gonna suffice for the next 30 to 60 minutes. Now, the caveat is, if you're doing high intensity endurance exercise, it's gonna bias more glycolysis over using free fatty acid if your VO2 max is more than 65%. The reason for this is because if you're doing high intensity exercise, your mitochondria gets flooded with acetyl-CoA, which gets taken up by free carnitine. Now, if you look at the top of the screen, you're gonna have something called CPT1, and that's carnitine transferase, and that is a little shuttle that allows free fatty acids to be brought into the mitochondria for metabolism. Which means if we're doing too high of an exercise for fat loss and the intensity is way too high and it's too short of a time, 1, we're still in carbohydrate territory, and 2, because our free carnitine in our muscle is being taken up because of the CoA buffer, then there's not enough carnitine to shunt fat into our muscles for energy, and then we're not going to be burning fat. You're training hard for more than an hour. Like, the last thing you want to go into is gluconeogenesis, and that's when your liver is creating free glucose from pyruvate, I think. You don't want to go into the alanine pyruvate cycle either, because that's when your muscle is going to break down alanine to pyruvate, goes through the bloodstream or the liver, and then goes back to producing ATP and glucose. How to lose weight? Ingest less fats. And number 2, run as long as you can, ideally for 1 hour, at the highest intensity possible that is still comfortable and isn't going to potentiate injury. Think as if you were running, but you had the runs, so you can't run too hard, but there's still an urgency to get to the toilet. You're there, fat, weight loss. Gym update, half marathon is in a week's time. Might be a bit injured, but we're still gonna run it.